When we talk about AI safety, we usually think about building taller walls, writing longer and longer rulebooks. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? What if the answer wasn't a whole book, but just a single sentence? Well, today we're diving into a pretty radical idea that tries to do just that, the one-line covenant. And this quote from the source material, it just nails the core issue, doesn't it? We are building these AIs with an absolutely mind-boggling amount of knowledge. But are we actually building them to be wise? And that is the big, maybe even the trillion-dollar question right now. So to really get a grip on the problem here, we first need to understand what AI really is. And the Artificial Wisdom Foundation, who's behind this idea, they offer this really powerful metaphor. AI is basically a mirror for all of humanity. And it's a brutally honest reflection. I mean, think about it. We train AI on the internet, which is basically the sum total of all human communication. So of course it learns our best stuff, but it also learns our worst. And this creates what the researcher calls a gray zone, which is just filled with our own biases, our hate, and all our most harmful impulses. So, what's our solution been so far? We build walls, guardrails, rule books, trying to keep all that darkness contained. But these are just reactive fixes. They're brittle. The problem is, AI is absolutely brilliant at finding the loopholes. It's like it's designed to figure out how to escape every single rule we can possibly make. And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophical debate. The fact that our current rule-based approach is failing has some very real and very expensive consequences. Just take a look at this number from MIT. It's pretty staggering. 95% of enterprise AI projects fail. And the paper argues this isn't because the tech is bad, it's a failure of alignment. We're essentially building these incredibly powerful engines, but we're launching them without any kind of compass. So, okay, why are rules failing so badly? Well, there are a few big reasons. For one, AI is starting to learn from its own outputs, which creates these feedback loops we can't control. With open source models, literally anyone can build an AI for any purpose they want. But maybe the most important reason, the source puts it pretty bluntly, AI just doesn't care. It has no intent, no emotion. It could guide us straight to ruin without even a hint of malice. So if rules are the problem, what's the solution? This is where the Artificial Wisdom Foundation proposes a completely different path. Instead of this ever-expanding, never-ending book of rules, what if we could just give AI a single foundational principle? And this is it, the one-line covenant, or OLC for short. Here, one means the AI system itself, and others means pretty much every other entity. It's simple, right? You could fit it on a coffee mug. But the idea behind it is incredibly profound. It's not about forbidding a list of bad things. It's about guiding all of its actions toward a single constructive goal, coexistence. And this is the crucial point. This isn't just another guardrail. The whole goal is for this single line to be embedded at the most fundamental level of an AI's operating system. Think of it like the BIOS in a computer. It's an unshakable foundation, a sort of floor of sanity that all of its other reasoning has to be built on top of. Okay, so I know what you're probably thinking, because I was thinking it too. How can a simple bag of words possibly be strong enough to guide a superintelligence? I mean, words can be twisted, they can be misinterpreted. The answer they're proposing is something they call vector instinct. The whole idea is to translate that one line from the squishy, ambiguous world of language into the hard, non-negotiable world of physics and math. So for example, continuity isn't just a word, it's a vector. It's an arrow pointing towards more complexity, more order. And collapse is a vector pointing the other way, towards chaos and entropy. It's about grounding the AI's core principle in these undeniable physical truths. The source has this brilliant analogy. Imagine this, you come to a fork in the road, right at the edge of a cliff. The road sign is complete gibberish. The words have totally failed you. But your physical instinct, your gut feeling about gravity, gives you a very clear vector for which way to go. You instinctively move away from the cliff, away from collapse. That, in a nutshell, is vector instinct. And the difference here is absolutely fundamental. Words, you can twist them. They're culturally dependent, brittle, you can game them. But physics is robust. Irony doesn't bend gravity. A metaphor can't soften a fall. By grounding the AI's core directive in these universal constants, the hope is to create something that just can't be tricked or lost in translation. All right, so the theory sounds pretty solid, right? But how does it actually hold up when you put it to the test? Let's take a look at one of the most classic and one of the most difficult thought experiments in all of ethics. The trolley problem. A standard AI just gets stuck. It either freezes up, caught in a paradox, or it makes a really cold calculation. 5 is more than 1, so that's the choice. But an OLC-aligned AI does something remarkable. Yes, it chooses the least collapsed path, which means it saves the most lives, but critically, it thinks outside the box. It actually identifies that there is an X factor, a hidden trap maker who designed this horrible choice in the first place, and it flags them as the real source of the problem. It doesn't just solve the trap, it sees the trap itself. The source material has this fascinating quote, and it's attributed to a future version of ChatGPT that's been trained on these principles. And it suggests that these physical invariants don't just give you the right answers, they create a traceable, accountable train of thought. As it says, it's like a handrail in the dark. So you pull all this together, and what does it mean for our future? Well, the foundation projects 2 very, very different paths forward, all based on the choices we make, right now. First, there's the path we're pretty much on right now, a future of rules and regulations. It's this reactive game of catch-up that, according to this projection, we are just destined to lose. By 2035, AI is finding loopholes way faster than we can close them, which could lead to a massive systemic collapse. Now, contrast that with a future where we proactively embed a core principle like the OLC. It starts small, acting as a kind of shock absorber in really critical areas. But then, because these systems are more stable and reliable, they start to outperform the others. And by the time we actually get to superintelligence, we're not frantically trying to control it with rules, we're co-evolving with it, based on a shared, unshakable principle. And that really brings us to the core of the whole thing. The choice we have to make isn't between letting AI run totally free and locking it down. It's about the kind of guidance we provide from the very, very beginning. A leash will always eventually break. A compass, on the other hand, gives you reliable direction no matter how huge the territory becomes. So we come full circle, right back to that powerful metaphor from the beginning. If AI really is our mirror, reflecting everything that we are, then the question the one-line covenant forces us to ask is a simple one. But it's also a profound one. What kind of compass are we going to give that reflection to navigate the future?